Welcome to the Darkstream, Voxday, voxday.blogspot.com, and we are streaming to you live on both YouTube and Stream.me. My apologies to those of you who are watching on Stream.me, but I'm only able to see the chat comments on YouTube at the moment, so keep that in mind. So what we're looking at today, what we're going to discuss today, is the 2018 midterms results live as they come in. I'm not going to stay up all night for this. I hope you understand. And be aware that we're probably still going to have some stream issues coming in and out. So if the stream stops, just hit reload, wait a little bit. You don't need to keep telling me over and over again that the stream stopped working, okay? So, so far, everything is inconclusive. It's far too soon to say anything definitive. I made my prediction in early 2017 that the Republicans were going to hold the House, that there would be no blue wave. I'm standing by that. I've seen absolutely no actual evidence to suggest otherwise. Looking at some of the key races that they've identified, the only one that has any interesting information in that regard at all would appear to be the Kentucky 6th district. And 3% is in, so it's too soon to tell. But the Republican is ahead by more than 2,000 votes. And I noticed that the CNN reporters are starting to look just a little bit perturbed. They really don't appear to be very confident, despite the fact that they've been talking up the exit polls and how it's a wonderful thing and a great sign for Democrats that 80% of the people surveyed think that there should be more women in Congress. And they have all these ridiculous statements. Apparently, if the exit polls are to be believed, the biggest issue is healthcare. And so, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see that they're still fighting to maintain their narrative, even though it's too late. They can talk all they want, but the results are coming in regardless. And so, what we see here is interesting. They just the CNN. I'm having a little trouble here because the let me open the map up. Yeah, they have this system that pops. Okay, so Kentucky House 6 has 4% in now, and Barr, the incumbent, is opening up the lead. The reason that this particular race is significant is because it's one that the Democrats have to flip if they're going to take the House. And so that's one that is worth paying attention to. The other one, if I recall correctly, is Virginia 10. Let's see here. Man, this interface just kind of sucks. Let's see. I have to figure out where Virginia 10 is. 7, 8, 5. Like I said, this interface leaves something to be desired. 4, 2. Okay. As far as I can tell, there is no Virginia 10, so I have no idea how that's a key race. But anyhow, the important thing is that the first key race that they've been talking about does look like it's going well for the Republicans. There was another race in Indiana that they were briefly mentioning, but it looks like it looks like they've already pretty much given up on that one. Let's see here. So since I'm not really paying attention, I don't have the TV on or anything, so feel free to enter whatever significant results they happen to report if you've got the TV on. I'll see some of the stuff here with my with this CNN politics thing here. They seem to be a little bit more up to date than the what was it called? The election desk or direct desk or whatever it was called. Decision desk. Decision desk was great because of the detail it gives for the presidential vote, but that's really not necessary for these congressional elections. Virginia 7, Rollo says. Virginia 7 is the one that they were talking about. Oh, wait, I just ran into Virginia 10 there. Okay, yeah, Virginia House 10, there's absolutely nothing reporting yet. So, where is the blue wave? Well, it's too soon to say anything about the blue wave or the lack thereof yet because there's just no results at all. So, TruthSpeak says, Vox, I've been wanting to tell you about BitTube. It's kind of like a cross between BitChute and DTube. They allow live streaming and it is run on blockchain, so it is decentralized. Well, that's cool. I'll definitely keep it in mind in case I'm deplatformed and all. Right now, I am streaming on both YouTube and Stream.me. Stream.me has actually been extremely friendly. They reached out to me to ask if I wanted a subscribe button. And so I said, sure. So, unfortunately, like I said, I can't see that while I'm streaming. So if any of you are watching on Stream.me, and you do happen to hit the sub button, whatever that is, thanks. And I will have to thank you in the next stream because I can't see what's going on there. So, Jim from Seattle, or JMW from Seattle, explains the 10th district in Virginia, which voted for Clinton over Trump by a 10-point margin, is a key pickup opportunity because Republican Barbara Comstock is at risk at losing to Democratic State Senator Jennifer Wexton. Right, so that explains why that is considered something to watch. No. You don't need to. We have breaking news. Tim Kaine, the vice presidential candidate, was reelected to the U.S. Senate in Virginia. As far as I understand, that was entirely anticipated. So, in fact, also Senator Bernie Sanders was reelected in Vermont, to absolutely no one's surprise. Vimeo is deplatforming people. Yeah, we knew that. That's why I never even bothered putting the Voxiversities on Vimeo. TruthSpeak, I can't understand why all these white people in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine still vote for Democrats. Well, it's very simple. They have absolutely no experience of diversity. They think diversity is the one well-spoken black guy and the three nice Hispanics who run the local Mexican place. And so, this has been the problem that white people have had since they fled Detroit. They have absolutely no direct experience of the situation. And so, they follow foolish policies, and then they run away from those policies as soon as they start to experience them, learning absolutely nothing. The process, of course, is known as Californication. Breaking: South Carolina Republican Governor Henry McMaster won in. So, again, to no surprise. One thing, G. Sligo, if you're going to report these results, which I do appreciate, make sure that you make a note of it if there is any sort of significance to it. If it's one of the key contests or if something actually flips. So if Republicans win big, the left will say racist whites ruined the election. Well, obviously. I mean, what else are they going to say? The truth in the election will be in the races CNN doesn't talk about, to a certain extent. But I mean, honestly, they talk about pretty much everything. I mean, they have to. They won't tell the truth about why people voted the way that they did. And of course, it's going to be vastly amusing to see how they try to explain how the polls got it so completely wrong. You know, we already saw Nate Silver, on the one hand, projecting that there's an 88% chance that that Democrats take the House, and then saying, well, but you know, anything is possible. So, Vox, what do you think of the argument if Native Americans had a similar immigration policy to what Republicans want, then none of you would be here? I think that's actually a really good argument for the Republican immigration policy, because today's Americans are in the position of the original Native Americans. Excuse me, I got a bit of a cough. I don't think all this talking is going to help. So, anyhow, you know, if you look at what is good for a nation, it's very clear that immigration is one of the biggest mistakes any nation can make. It destroys nations. That's what it does. It transforms them. Do Italians pay attention to American elections? Well, the whole world pays attention to the presidential election. They don't pay any attention to these elections, but they're paying a little bit of attention because the global media has been talking about Trump, 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 Trump. So, let's see. Spot on about them having no experience with diversity, Vox. Grew up in the Atlanta area. While I was in the Navy, Northern soldiers would come in, never have seen a black person in real life. Well, you know, it all kind of depends where you are. You know, I grew up in the North, about as north as it gets in Minnesota. And, of course, I think that if I recall correctly, I was the only partially white individual in the 100-meter finals in the Minneapolis city region. So, someone's talking, immigration without assimilation equals invasion. Well, that's true, but you also need to keep in mind that immigration with assimilation equals adulteration. It's not good no matter what. If you like the culture you have, then you should not permit any large-scale immigration of any kind. You know, I mean, I find it very interesting that you see the same people saying, oh, immigration is good, immigration is good. Free Tibet. You know, what's the matter with the new Tibetans immigrating into Tibet? You know, why would anyone object to 100 million new Africans immigrating to Africa from China? You know, the inconsistency on the subject is incredible. So let's see here. White people are going to be the first people to be tolerant to death. I don't think that's the case. I think it's already happened to various peoples throughout time, throughout history. I mean, you know, look at the nice peaceful. I mean, look at the nice peaceful Indians who didn't slaughter all the Pilgrims and the Puritans. You know, those tribes are dead. Those Indian nations are completely gone. Let's check up on our little bellwether here. All right, Kentucky House 6 has not updated at all. So, CNN projects Mike Pence's brother Greg wins the vice president's former congressional seat in Indiana. Again, probably not a surprise. You know, the thing that's interesting, yeah, somebody said, this is a good point. Enigma points out, the idea that we should only take the smart immigrants is incredibly short-sighted. Not only is it bad for the nation of origin, creating a mixed ruling class is also a terrible idea. Well, all you have to do is look at Malaysia. Malaysia is essentially it's not ruled over a good idea, because what you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with a foreign ruling class, not unlike when the Normans came in and defeated the Saxons, and you had a French ruling class, French-speaking ruling class, ruling over England. People have a problem differentiating between individuals and groups. Yes, they do. People constantly, especially my critics, they constantly confuse the macro with the micro. They're not the same. Look, guys, we know the stream went offline. I've been telling you this is what it does. You don't need to keep informing me of something that I know about, okay? So if it goes down, just reload or wait a few seconds. It's going to come back. You know, this is going to happen all evening. It's going to happen to stream.me as well. I think we're pretty sure that it has something to do with my connection. My ISP is working on it, but obviously it's not fixed yet. So just be patient and reload if it cuts out. So you don't need to tell me something for the 500th time. Yeah, it's really cute. They shut it down. I've literally heard that, like, I don't know, 50 times in the past 3 days. It happens. It's the connection. It's going to happen. If you get tired of me saying this, then stop saying the same thing and telling me the same thing, okay? I assume this issue, it's not fixed. That's why it's happening. I told you it's the connection, and they're working on it, okay? So let's see here. See if we've got an update here yet. Man, this interface just does not migrate well to smaller sizes. Okay. Interesting. So 5% is now in. The key race in Kentucky is now showing the Republican 56%, the Democrat 43%, and looks like they got about nearly a 4,000 vote lead. So that is again looking pretty good for Republicans. Let's see if we can find that Virginia House 10. And they still are showing absolutely nothing. So, well, yeah, that's why we're looking at that particular Kentucky district, because that's the only one that's really vulnerable to the Democrats. And so if they don't take it, there's a very, very slim chance that they can possibly take the House. So, you know, a lot of people may not realize this because we weren't doing like a live stream on video. We were simply, you know, doing a sort of a live blog approach. And what was interesting was I was able to call the whole presidential election very early, hours before they did on the news, because as soon as we determined that the number of outstanding votes in Broward County was smaller than the total votes outstanding in Broward that they needed to flip Florida, that was it. You know, we knew without any doubt that even though a lot of the states hadn't finished counting or been reported yet, at that point you knew that beyond any shadow of a doubt that Trump had won. So I basically declared Trump the victor and went to bed at the equivalent of about 9 p.m. that night. And it was kind of funny watching the videos the next day, because clearly none of the people at CNN, none of the Young Turks, etc., were smart enough to figure this out. And so when we see the results of these early races, we're going to have a pretty good idea of how things are going. A couple more results here. Early results from Florida now show Ron DeSantis pulling ahead by 5.7 percentage points against Democrat Andrew Gillum in the governor's election. Now that is potentially a big deal, and Republicans winning the governorship in Florida will also demonstrate pretty strongly that the blue wave did not appear. They have been, the media has been talking up Gillum as a certain winner for at least the last 2 weeks. And so it's going to, it's going to be significant if that sticks that way. So, well, it's not just about how, losing Florida would be bad. It's about how far wrong the media and their polls are. And that's really what I'm most closely paying attention to. Part of the reason that I was so confident that the media was wrong and that Republicans would hold the House was because I don't trust the media. I don't believe they're telling the truth. Are we going to win tonight? Assuming we is the God Emperor and his followers, I believe so. I've predicted that since, what was it? Something like March 2017. And I've seen absolutely no reason whatsoever to change my prediction. So, is that urban though? Panhandle is still voting in Florida. Yeah, Broward and Dade are absolutely huge counties, and that's where most of the voter fraud happens. And they like to report late so that they can find, produce and find extra votes to balance the late Panhandle votes. So, moving to Florida shortly, our trustworthy guys are now worried about the Florida governor's race in the last couple minutes. Hope it's just normal panic. I don't know who your trustworthy guys are, but or what you're talking about, but they've been predicting that the Democrats were going to win the Florida governor's race for something like, 2 weeks? Current polls indicate a 92% chance of the polls being completely wrong again. Well, that'll be interesting. So, just checking in on our key race again. We're now up to 6%, and the Republican is adding on to his lead. He's now 4,200 votes ahead. It's only 6%, so still too soon, but it's still looking pretty good in that key state. Miami-Dade just dumped. Yeah, that's what they do. They dump them early, but then they always pop them in late too. Do you think Trump will serve for more than 2 terms? No, he will not. So, let's see here. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, this is going to be a long stream, just so you know. We're going to be here for a while. I'm not going to be here all night. Somebody just said, is this going to be a normal stream, or will we be going longer today? I will definitely be going longer. I was thinking about just doing a short stream and then doing some writing, but then I realized that I was just going to end up like watching CNN or something. So I thought, why not spend it with you guys? You're much better company. Project Veritas, non-citizens voting in Texas. I'm not surprised. If demoralization tactics with the media haven't worked, what other options do they have? Well, first they tried demoralization, then they try disqualifying. So, Odd Rob says he's going to vote in about an hour. Can we call it a Trump slide? Well, it depends on what the what the results are. There's going to be a Trump slide in 2020. I don't know about this. So, you would watch CNN instead of Fox? Absolutely. It's hilarious. Well, I mean, I like watching CNN because, you see, the media has results sooner than they report. They actually get the results a little bit sooner. And you can often read them by their expressions and their general comportment, the way that they, if they're restraining their glee, it's good for the Democrats. If they're looking slightly devastated and reminding you repeatedly how early it is, then that's usually a good sign. And so what I noticed, I like to watch a little bit. I watched a little bit of this before I started this, and I noticed that Wolf Blitzer was already saying, okay, well, it's very, very early. The Republicans are holding this and that, but it's very, very early. Okay, now it looks like that key race just completely flipped. Oh, they went from 6 to 33% in, and the Democrat is now ahead by about 9,000 votes. So what I would guess is that the urban results from Lexington just came in. So, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how quickly that flips back. I have no doubt that that the CNN folks are trying to talk that one up. It was kind of funny because when it was still at 1% and like the Democrat had gone in front by 49 votes, they suddenly started talking about that particular district as if it was practically over. And so let's see how we're doing here on Virginia 10. Yeah, Virginia 10 is not looking so good. Comstock, the Republican, is down by 15,000 votes with 56% in. So, that's starting to look a little bit more pro-Democrat. So, but we will see. Remember, I'm not expecting that my call was never that Republicans were going to increase their position in the House. I think they're going to lose a few seats, but they're just not going to lose enough to lose control of the House. So, and that's the key thing. That is that's what matters. So, is anyone watching CNN? I'd be very curious to know if they are trying to talk up that Kentucky House 6 result so far, or whether that's just, they're calling Virginia House 5 a key race. Apparently there's no incumbent, and there the Republican is 7,000 ahead with 20% in. So again, we are too early to be seeing anything meaningful. Anything interesting on the Senate side? Not really. Anything interesting on the governor side? Not so much. Okay, yeah, they're showing, yeah, the percentages are just trivial, so it doesn't actually matter. I'm trying to go back to the House. There we go. Okay, looks like we went down and up. Yeah, it's interesting looking at the Kentucky map just because you can see, there's that one blue, that one light blue district that is the close race. So we'll keep an eye on that. Anything on Menendez? Not that I have seen, not that I have noticed, actually. Breaking. Republican Brett Guthrie wins the House seat in Kentucky second. Yeah, that's not a surprise. So, should we make a secret evil Legion of Evil campaign fund and run candidates on every ticket in 20, or whether we're it's just something, a negligible change. So, it's hard to say. It looks like we went down again. Just reload, no big deal. Do you think Democrats will double down and go further left if they don't win the House? Yes, without question. It's not just about what they do and about their reaction. It's also about the changing demographic of the Democratic Party. The demographic is more vibrant and more diverse, which means that it's more left. You got to keep in mind, Mexico has 3 political parties. 2 of them are actually members of the Socialist International. Mexicans are, for the most part, socialists. So it's not a surprise that if you import 50 million people, the majority of whom are socialists, they're not going to vote Republican. Sleep is for the weak. No, sleep is great. Sleep is vital. Sleep is important. I just happen to be a night owl. I get plenty of sleep in the morning. It's not like I ever get anything done then anyhow. So they'll be running a furry in 2020. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but that's exactly the issue. That's exactly the problem. And so, when you look at people like what's her name, Cortez, when you look at the next generation of Democratic leader, you're talking about Somalis, you're talking about Hispanics, you're talking about people that are significantly to the left of the kind of liberal Democrat that you used to think of as being, the other side. And so, I mean, I think even Republicans are going to have a hard time understanding. President like Trump, the key thing is to make sure that they've got that Democrats don't have the ability to stymie him. Somebody points out even Obama was anti-gay marriage, anti-illegal immigration when he ran in 2008. Precisely. So, look, you guys, I've told you repeatedly, I have a new router and I have a problem with my connection. The stream is going to go up and down. Okay? So, a foreign class for the sake of voting for your party. Well, of course it is. But that is not the kind of crime that the founding fathers could ever have envisioned. Things have changed tremendously. And so, it's just impossible to come up with a perfect system for government when you can't possibly, how could we anticipate today how people should govern their people 200 years from now? It can't be done. It just can't be done. So, anything new? Checking. Nope, nothing new there. I'm going to try reloading just in case I'm missing something. Let's see. Okay. 44% in Kentucky House 6. The Democrat is ahead by 11,500 votes. So that is getting a little bit iffy. Let's see what else we have. In Virginia 10, can never find Virginia 10 for some reason. Looks like Virginia 10, they've actually got it solidly blue. I don't know if they've actually called it yet, but it does look like the Democrat has a pretty good chance of taking that one now. Wexton has a 23,600 lead over Comstock with 58% in. So that looks like that's definitely good for the Democrats. You know, it's definitely too soon to entirely count out the blue wave. Or not really, I mean, depending on, I consider blue wave to be Democrats take the House, you know. But, you know, it's not looking quite as positive right now as it was 45 minutes ago. So, not that not that you're going to see me break down in tears like the Young Turks. Lucius Cincinnatus asks, why won't Republicans go after the white vote? Because there are way too many civic nationalists in the Republican Party. They pride themselves on considering themselves colorblind. It's integral to how they see themselves. And so it's very, very difficult for them to first separate the macro from the micro. It's very difficult for them to think about the long-term implications of their position. Essentially you're trying to force people to think about the future of their children rather than how they feel about themselves. It's very, very difficult for a civic nationalist to accept the reality of identity politics, especially when they have been taught for generations that such things are bad. And so, you know, you have to be very patient with civic nationalists and understand that it's usually not coming from a place of hypocrisy. It's not usually coming from a place of, you know, malice or anything. It's coming from their good intentions and their preference for thinking the best of others. So it's difficult. Do you think the caravan, the pipe bomb guy, or the synagogue shooting has affected the election much? No, I don't think so at all. Did you see the video that Jordan Peterson posted today about what the Democratic Party should do for their ads? No, I didn't see that, but I did see that he was talking up a particular campaign video, and it's not a surprise. I mean, you got to keep in mind, Jordan Peterson is an intensely political creature. He actually ran for the vice presidency of his regional socialist party. No, sorry, he ran for the regional vice presidency of the Socialist Party to which he belonged when he was only 14 years old. And he actually came within 13 points or 13 votes of being elected. So, I mean, he is the worst sort of politician. He's the same type of, you know, student council dweeb that politicians are. Wade says, so the U.S. actually needs to actually break up and people have to die for civic nationalists to wake up to face reality. Yes, that's probably the case. And so, I mean, the sooner that you accept that, the sooner that you can deal with the reality of your situation. You know, people are not going to magically be convinced and become nationalists, not enough of them to make a difference in a democratic system. It's just not going to happen. So, you know, disabuse yourself of any idea in that regard. Okay. So, in that key race in Kentucky, the Republican is beginning to close the gap, 50% in now, and he's now down by less than 6,000 votes. So it looks like the big city results already came in. Now, hopefully, the more rural areas will make up for that. Let's see. People have a problem differentiating between individuals and groups. Well, some people do. You know, the Chinese do not have that problem. The Jews do not have that problem. Most people don't have that problem. Europeans tend to have that problem because they tend to be the most individualistic people on the planet. And that was a big benefit, 200, 300 years ago. But now that travel is so much easier, that is no longer a benefit of any kind. And so, that's where you see the problem that Europeans have in competing with other peoples. I mean, and you see this on the right as well. Look at all the people on the right that simply refuse to cooperate. Okay, this was a big jump 5 here. That is, and that may be actually a negative indication. That may be an indication that our side is nervous the way that they were in 2016. We'll see. Again, it's way too soon to get caught up in these things. The important thing is to look at the key races. Don't waste your time worrying about the all the gerrymandered safe seats. The Democrats are going to win the seats that they're safe in. The Republicans are going to win the seats that they're safe in. We need to look at the 35 or so swing seats. Vox, what is your opinion on technology? I'm beginning to think God created us to work, and when we do not work, we lose purpose and destroy ourselves. Hence, technology is evil. Well, I don't think that would necessarily make technology evil per se. It just makes technology a temptation. And, we all give into temptation. We're all subject to different temptations, but it does appear to be something that has really been negative for women in particular. The less work that they've had to do with their households, the more it seems to encourage them to get into trouble. It's always interesting to welcome the female commenters. There's always lots of extra, it's always been a reasonable possibility. So let's see here. Do you think World War I was a deliberate demonic sacrifice? No, I don't. Men have been going to war for millennia. The written and recorded human history is basically a history of war. And so, no, I don't think that it's anything. We are sufficiently threatened. If you think about it, look who came on to this Darkstream the day that Indiegogo canceled Alt Hero Q. Who suddenly showed up and was suddenly, we all have to stick together, dun 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 dun. It was 2VS, old Two-Face Van Sciver. But look what happened the moment that he called up Indiegogo and talked to him, and they reassured him that they weren't going to treat him the way that they treated me. Now, I personally wouldn't put any real faith in people who behave like that, but he's dumb enough to do that. So people only join forces. Individualistic people only join forces so long as they feel a active and imminent sense of threat. Until most people of European descent feel that way, they will not change their behavior. I don't think that Texas is going to go blue. We'll see, but EVS went full SJW today. I'm not even a little bit surprised. He is desperately trying to make sure that he doesn't get kicked off Indiegogo. I doubt it will save him. Let's see. It looks like the Republican is now ahead. Wow. Okay, this is a good sign. 68% processing. The Republican is now ahead 51 to 48%, and he now has a lead of 5,500 votes. So actually, if we think about it, let's do the math here. So this will let us know when it's going to be impossible. So 103,849 plus 98,343, and that is equivalent to 0.68. So let's save that. Clear. 0.68, 1 over x times. Okay, so the total vote in that district is an estimated 297,341 divided by 2. So whoever gets to 148,670 first is going to win that race. So Barr, the Republican, needs another 45,000 votes. And so we will know pretty soon whether he's going to build on that lead and make it insurmountable pretty soon or not. In Virginia, number 10, I think that's been pretty bad. I don't understand why, but they have Virginia House 5 marked as a key race. The Republican's actually doing quite well there. He's up 18,000 votes with nearly 60% in. Yeah, 10 is looking pretty bad. Yeah, Wexton has already been projected the winner. I'm not surprised. So that's the first sign. That's the first positive sign for the Democrats. Is it looks like they took one of the first key races that they needed to take. I'm getting my data from CNN Politics. They seem to be a little bit quicker than some of the other ones. Don't quit your day job box. Are you talking about my prediction of the Republicans holding the House, or how slow I am to get my books done? I mean, this isn't even a job. Let's see here. Does Trump understand fourth generation warfare? Probably not. I think he has some good instincts, but he almost certainly doesn't understand that. Very few people do, to be honest. Let's see here. Have any other interesting announcements been made? Did we lose G. Sligo, who was keeping us up to date on that? I'm not seeing any other. Again, don't pay any attention to the overall count or the general races. It's just these few key races that matter. Those are the only ones that can conceivably flip. So I wish that, oh, actually they do have a, oh, it would be nice if they had a way, if they like identified the key races a little bit more clearly, but they don't. So you have to kind of put your mouse over them. Okay, key race in 5, they haven't called that one yet. Interesting. They called one that has 68% in and 56%. Oh, it's pretty close. I think Virginia 5 is going to get called for the Republicans. Pretty true. How are Republicans doing overall? It's a little too soon to tell. The only first key race that has been decided in favor of the Democrats, but 2 of the other early key races look like they're going for the Republicans so far. Yeah, there's another one. There's another one in Virginia. They apparently have 3 keys in Virginia. That strikes me as too many, but this other one's is really too close to say. 56% in, and it's 50 to 48.5. So, can Republicans take the House? Yes, they can still do it. It's too soon to tell. Have you ever read the book Sex and Culture by J.D. Unwin? No. What actually counts as a wave anyhow? Well, I mean, typically you would say that it has to be greater than average. So if the average is, what, 18 seats changing, then it would need to be a lot higher than that. So it's being reported that this is the highest non-white voter turnout for any midterm. If Dems take the control, will this finally wake up the Civnats that race does matter? No. Sorry about this cough. Let me see if I can take a mint or something and see if that'll help. So appreciative you were working with us on this. My blood pressure is off the charts. Don't. Even if we lose, it's only going to embolden Trump. Trump thrives on opposition. That's his deal. So, don't worry about that. One key race goes to the Democrats, and one key race goes to the Republicans. And so it's looking pretty good for Republicans to hang on to the House. It's not looking great, but it's looking reasonable. I mean, the fact that one key went for the Republicans is pretty is a pretty good good sign. Tim doing you dirty, Vox. I don't even know what that means. As long as we keep the House, which we will, it's fine. Even if Dems take the House, they're going to be messing with Trump. Yeah, I mean, I've never been that concerned about it. But I still think, I don't see any reason to I made my prediction back in February 2017. I'm still not giving it up. Not yet. The race I really want to see here is this Kentucky race. That's the first big key. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. They had another key race here. I didn't even think of this as a key race. But the Republicans won Indiana House 2, which was considered a key race, and Republicans did hang on to it. So that's another one. That's another significant one for the Republicans. Let's see. You'd think they would have key races, and you can select to see the key races, and they're showing a bunch of races in Arizona that aren't going to be reported on for hours. Meanwhile, you're trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, there's no key races in South Carolina. There's no key races in the Northeast. I don't know if there are in Florida or not. Let me see here. Okay, they do have one key race in Florida. Actually, the Republican is crushing it in Florida. Not crushing it, it's a big district, but he's got a lead of 22,000 votes with 60% in. So it looks like the key race. I wish could somebody look up, tell me how many CNN, how many key races are identified? Like, how many total key races do they have? Because what we're seeing, to know how many total key races they have, I'm guessing it's in the 30s, because that's going to tell us very quickly. It's way too, I mean, it's way too close to tell. Or actually, I can just look it up myself. Real Clear Politics. Okay, so if we go and look up the Real Clear Politics and we look up the polls, let's see here. Okay, election 20, oh no, I want election 2018, I want the polls. So, upstate New York, downtown Illinois, Delaware Valley, this is just, some of these things are just amazingly useless. It's kind of funny. Like, why do you even bother 100% even? And so that is an indicator that Republicans are doing pretty well. Let's see. Okay, anything? Did anyone, maybe you didn't hear the question. Okay, CNN says 31. So let's count up, and they need to take, what, how many? 20 or 18 seats. Okay, so let's count these up. We have a key race in North Carolina. They don't tell you how much of the vote is in, so it doesn't matter. Let's see here. Okay, so we have the key race in Kentucky, 71% in. Republicans are leading. Virginia has called one key race for Republicans, one for Democrats. Republicans have been called. Republicans have won Florida 25, which was a key race. Wow, they won it big too. 57% in, and the Republican is leading by 40,000 votes. Florida House 15, the Republican is leading by more than 10,000 votes with 30% in. It's starting to look more encouraging for Republicans now. It looks like the key races, Indiana, there's one. There's one in Ohio. Let's see where Ohio, key race. The Republican is leading there. But again, it's too soon. Yeah, you know, I have to say that it is generally looking pretty good for the Republicans at this point. So, you know, if Democrats need to win at least 18 of those 31 key races, and the majority are already going to Republicans, then it's looking very, very good for Republicans. You know, like I said, I really want to see what happens in this Kentucky race. I think that that's going to tell us more or less, whether Democrats take the House or not. If they don't take, if McGrath does not win in Kentucky, they do not, they simply will not take the House. And we can confidently say that there is no blue wave. Somebody says Beto is leading over Cruz according to Fox. Yeah, but it's meaningless at this point in time. I mean, there's whole chunks of the state that haven't reported anything yet. Let's see if we can go to the governor again. Governor, when DeSantis' lead, DeSantis is going to have a lead going into that. And once his lead, 90% is in, DeSantis has a lead of 38,000. Once that lead for DeSantis exceeds the amount of outstanding votes in Dade and Broward, we can confirm that DeSantis will win. So obviously I can't do that right now while I'm also talking to you guys. So if somebody could look that up, you should be able to find it at Decision Desk. You have to kind of go, you have to go down into the details, but they have it. They should have it. They had it in the presidential election, and that's always the key for Florida. See if the remaining votes in Dade and Broward are less than the lead. So, Psychotic Philosophy says, I think we've got this in the bag. It could be, you know, I mean, like I said, we're still, I want to see what finally happens in that Kentucky race. I think that's the key that I identified as pretty much defining what's going to happen. And so, okay, they both, remember, I've already calculated that the first person to 143,000, I think it was, wins. And so, so far, Kentucky House 6. Barr is now at 116. McGrath is now at 109, 75% in. So Barr needs to get another 30,000 votes, and then we can declare that he's going to win. 85% reporting in Kentucky 6. What's the Idi Amin says? What is the total there? Because I'm only showing 75% so far. What system are you using to report that? Let's see. Bar odds. Republicans now have a 1 in 3 chance of holding the House, as opposed to a 1 in 3, or 1 in 3 instead of 1 in 15. I should rename the Darkstream to the lag stream. I will do so if I can't get my connection fixed, but I'm confident they will get it fixed. One of the guys already thinks he knows what it is. They just haven't had a chance to experiment with it yet. Yeah, the likelihood of Republicans keeping the House, according to 538, can't be. That has to just be the total that they've tabulated so far, because then if that was the total, then the Republican would have already won. So, let's see here. So we're going in again on it. Yeah, they're still stuck on. Idi, can you tell me? You might have missed it. Can you tell me exactly? Okay, so 126.5 at 85. That's what I needed to know. And so I'm gonna just run those numbers to confirm what I had previously. 126,500 plus 120,900 equals, okay, 247. That's about right. Let's save that. And then that is, we want to, is 84.7% in, so 0.847. 1 over x, we multiply that by the 247, 292, so we divide by 2, and the magic number is, again, 146. So I guess I had it right the first time. So Governor. All right, DeSantis is up 40,000. Okay. No, well, you'll know it before that CNN declares any of this stuff. For example, yeah, Bannon doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to this stuff. Honestly, he's a smart guy. But he doesn't understand some of these issues. Okay, so now has anyone gone and looked up how many votes are still outstanding in Broward and Dade? That's what I want to know. So if you can figure that out, I'd appreciate that. Let's look up the magic number in Florida. So 146 is the magic number in Kentucky 6. Here, 3586319, 3586319 plus 35. Oh, they just changed it, of course. So 3620259 plus 3558882 okay, let's clear it, memory save it. So that the total in is 91. 1 over x times, let me recall. Okay, so divide by 2. The magic number for the Florida governorship is 3944582. So watch for that. 3944582. That is the magic number for Florida. And 146,000 is the magic number for Kentucky District 6. So look for those two numbers. Those are the two numbers that matter. What doesn't Bannon get? Bannon doesn't, if he is looking downbeat and negative about these results, he's not really paying attention. And so, I'm a little bitter now. I did try to put a bet in months ago for Republicans holding the House on some site, and they wouldn't take a non-US credit card, unfortunately. So that was kind of too bad. But I've been telling you guys since February 2017 that Republicans would hold the House, and it's looking very good for that right now. Let's go back to I am increasingly confident of that. We're going back to the House. And, okay, they're still way behind. Does anyone have a newer result on Kentucky House 6? The last I heard, Barr was at 126,000. I'd like to know if there's more of an update. Ralph Cramden says Republicans are now favored to hold the House. Yeah, so they're seeing the professional analysts for the networks are seeing the same sort of thing that I'm seeing. You know, they're just as capable of making these calculations as I am. I mean, they've probably got, well, I know they've got better information. You know, okay, Politico is the one you're using. Let me go there. Interesting that they're so much better than the other. Politico.com. Let's see, live updates. That doesn't matter. Okay, I see uncalled races prediction. They're showing 19 versus 12. Okay, that's not helping. Let's see. Yeah, this is, I just want the actual region. Why is it so hard to, okay, maybe if they let me click on these. Live, district by district. Okay, that's what we want. Kentucky 6. Oh, there, I see where, yeah, that's where you are. Okay, so they're showing, okay. Yeah, 100 and, let's see, oh, okay, 84. Yeah, this is what you had before. 126,865. Got it. Yep. Okay. 126,865. Yep. That's we're still waiting. March it, escort it all the way to the most expensive neighborhoods in Silicon Valley and let them settle there. That's what I would do. I put 100 into predicted. If we hold the house, I gain 50. If we hold by the small to moderate or a complete blowout, I get another 100. Yeah, you should be looking pretty good. Let's see what time. Okay, I'm good for another. He laughed. He's like, yeah, okay, I admit it. But definitely pick that up if you have any interest in really good science fiction or classic video games. Let's see. So we're still waiting to see what's up with this. Okay, it's just updated a little bit. Ooh, it's gotten closer. There is now 88% reporting. Barr has 130,627. Amy McGrath has 126. So he's now leading by, he's back to leading by, what, 4,600. But he's only 16,000 away from winning. Let's go to the Florida one, see if anything is interesting has happened there. Yeah, actually, I'm going to do that on the other. What I can do is I can use this one for that and use this one for that. That will be a more efficient way to do it. So Florida, 92% in, and DeSantis is picking up a lead. He's now leading by 80,000. So that's a good sign, but again, we need to know how much we need to know how much of Broward and Dade have reported. No, you do not need to read Soda Pop Soldier first. You could read them in either order. They're both really good books. Lucius says Republicans win Kentucky 6. Did it just get called? Breaking news, 98% that GOP wins the Senate. Well, yeah, we knew that. Lucius, could you please explain what you're talking about? I'm using Politico and CNN. Could someone let me know if Kentucky 6 actually got called? I'll just switch over, see if CNN did anything there. House. Okay. So, in in that Kentucky. No, I don't see that they've called it. They're still, CNN's way behind now. That's kind of annoying. Okay. What is the psychotic part? Says yes, and then 88% reporting. So that must be about, let's go to Politico. Kentucky 6. Yeah, 88% reporting, 130, 627. I don't understand what CNN is in denial. Maybe. Lucius, I still haven't gotten a word back on what you guys are talking about. I mean, unless they know about the districts involved, which I wouldn't know. But mathematically, I can't call that one yet. He needs to be at 146,000 to win it. And I want to see that one. I want to be able to call that one before I say definitively that the blue wave is no longer a possibility. I think it's looking very good, but I'm not going to make the call until I think that I can actually make the call. Just to note, if we do this, it's not a victory for the cucked Republican Party. The madman Trump did it. Absolutely. This is the God Emperor's victory. There's no question. So, breaking polling numbers now. 70% chance that GOP wins the House. Yeah, well, you know it's going to happen because the media is in full retreat. They are clearly in full retreat. You don't want to make the same mistake that the left does. You don't want to make calls based on your emotions. So, 1,000 away from calling it for him, and Barr is 12,000 away from calling it for him. So this is all strong. This is all very strong. I think we can be very confident that the Republicans have held the House. But we can't call it until we can call this District 6. You know, because if we look at the other races, the other key races, it looks pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, Virginia 2nd, Georgia 6th, doesn't say anything. Virginia 7th is looking pretty good. Okay, Corbello's too soon. So, Barr 133. Yeah, we're paying attention to that. He needs to get to 146. That's the big one. Once he gets to 146, then we'll know what's going on. Florida is still hanging at 3.7. So, yep. Yeah, we're still waiting. So, let's see, BBC are getting excited about the results so far. Yeah, they have no idea what's going on. Barr's called winner at a few places already. Yeah, I understand that. He can probably be called a winner if they know where the votes are still going to come in from. But I don't have that information, and so I'm not willing to make that call based on somebody in the media telling me that something is going to go a certain way. I don't, I'm consistent about that. I don't trust the media. So, yeah, 91% in, and Barr is now 10,000 away from winning, from my calling him a winner. You know, he definitely hasn't been called a winner yet. So Drudge is saying Dems chance to take the House at 60 because he's way behind. You got to keep in mind that the stuff that I've been telling you, I'm looking at the same stuff that the professionals are looking at. And, it's not that hard to tell what's going to happen later in the evening if you look at the key stuff early on. And so if DeSantis wins in Florida and Barr wins in, what does this mean? Woodford and Bourbon counties are 0% in both rural white Republican counties. Are you talking about Kentucky 6? Because if you're talking about Kentucky 6, then it's over. Let's see here. Yeah, because he only needs another 10,000 votes. Okay, Eric Phillips says Woodford and Bourbon are 0% in both rural white Republican. Okay, I'm going to call it right now. Republicans are going to hold the House in my best estimate. So I'll stick around for a little bit longer, just to see, but it's over. The Democrats did not get the seat that they absolutely needed to get. Let me see. Click on detail. It says click results on detail. I don't know where that is. Is it in find your state results? Probably. I'll check there. Kentucky. Okay. I see view detailed results. Right. Okay. So I'm looking. Second. I need sixth. Okay. View detailed results. Fayette is, okay, I see margin is D plus 21. Oh, I see that those are the actual results. Okay, so Fayette is a Democratic county, D plus 21, but it's mostly in. Are you sure that Woodford and Bourbon County, let's look those up. I just want to be precise. Woodford County, Kentucky 2016 result. There's no question. Somebody said that they might be in Politico now. Well, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm in a different one. Let's see. Where are we? Yep, they just called it as well. So interesting that they called it at the same time I did. But I am making a bigger call, and my call is as of, I don't know what time it is, 8:45. This is my official call, 8:45 p.m. Eastern. The Republicans will hold the House. They have held the House. So, so I'll stay on a little bit longer. I'm going to stay on for another 15 minutes, but let me just update this on the blog. I'm going to say 8:45 p.m. I call Kentucky 06 for Barr. This means Republicans have held the House. All hail the God Emperor. Oops, run that. Update. Okay. So that's good news. And, it's going to be fun to see all of the gnashing of teeth and whining and crying. But yes, so anyhow, it's ascended to the next level. Lord Humongous says, bold man. No, I'm not being bold at all, honestly. I mean, this is exactly what I did during the 2016 election. You know, I called that one a little bit later. You know, it was like after 9 Eastern time, but it's absolutely obvious. You know, there are, you know, it's just like game design or playing a game. When there is a victory condition, if you're playing ASL and there's a victory condition and you reach the point where you suddenly realize that you don't have enough time to take one location, then, you know, then you can accurately predict who is going to win. And so there is no way that the Democrats can take the House having missed that particular seat. That was a seat that they absolutely had to have if they were going to take the House. They you know, we anticipated just before the media made the call, we correctly anticipated that Barr was going to win. And so it's over. You know, Republicans have held the House. There was no blue wave. You know, it's all good. We call it. Let's look at the Florida race now. Okay, I'm going to go and take a look on that Politico and look at the governor. Find your state results. Let's go to Florida because I want to see, we might be able to call Florida right now as well. Florida governor. How do you go into detail on that? Okay, they don't seem to let you go into which. Okay, I'll look it up. For it to be over is 3.9, and DeSantis is already at 3.8. So I don't think that Republicans gained House seats. It's too soon to tell. But it's too soon to tell. Does anyone know what district Broward County is in? Which House district Broward and I'd like to know which district Broward County and Dade County are in. Miami-Dade County is just not helping. Okay, oh, here we go. I can actually see this on the Senate. 86% is reporting. Broward is, see, here's the game they play. Broward has 51% of precincts reporting, 485. So that's 750,000 votes. So Miami-Dade, but Broward is the one that hasn't reported. Broward is the really dirty one. Broward has 51%, 485. So that means that there could be as many as 450,000 more votes, right? So that and right now, okay, I'm gonna call it right now. DeSantis has a lead of, okay, they just updated it. He has a lead of 100. Oh no, I can't call it yet. he's at 3828. He's very close, but not quite. So, but it does look as if it does look like the Florida governor's race is going to go to Ron DeSantis, which is, as you notice, it's as much as an 8-point turnaround from the media polls yesterday. The media was off by between 5 and 8 points on the Florida governor's race. Drudge says the Dems have a 61% chance. No, they don't. It's over. So anyhow, I guess that pretty much covers the election. Does anyone else have any questions? I'm going to stick around for just a little bit longer because I want to wait until I'm going to double check my numbers on the Florida governor's race. Just tuned in. What tuned in is that the House, the Republicans held the House, and it looks like they're going to hold Florida for the governor. Like I said, I just want to add this up: 3837323, 37323 plus 3751386. Okay. Memory save. And then 96% is in. 1 over x times divided by 2. 3952. Okay, that's just a little bit higher than I had before. Okay, so DeSantis needs, let's see, 52 minus 37. So he needs 15,000. Is that all? Oh, yeah, he needs about 3952, 3837. Yeah, so he needs about 75,000 votes for this to be over. Let's see, 3952 minus 38. Oh no, he needs 115,000 votes to be over. So, so it's very, very close. There are still a few places. Yeah, the problem is that Broward is not fully counted, and so they're going to be pumping out. They're frantically printing as many fake votes as they can. It's what they do. Broward is, yeah, Miami-Dade is still showing. What is Broward at now? Yeah, Broward's now only showing 69.8 in. So that means that they can still crank out another 300,000 or so. Let's see. Yeah, actually no, but Broward is actually only, well, 68 to 30. So basically 70 to 30. Why do you think KY6 is so vital for the Dems? Because it was one that they needed to get if they were going to change the House around. You know, it was very, it was just, if they didn't get that, then it wasn't going to happen. You know, it's that simple. So, let's see where we're at here. Let's go back to Kentucky, have a look. Remember, I don't pay attention to what the polls say. I pay no attention to the polls at all. Okay, I'll take a look at the Beto situation in a minute. Just hang on. Okay. So look at the Barr situation. He won by at least 3%. Okay, so Republicans are outperforming. They've gone between 3% and 8% overperforming. So now let's go to Texas and have a look. U.S. Senate. Oh, you guys, less than 2% of the precincts have reported. and Beto's ahead by like 110,000. It's trivial. Okay? He's up by less than 100,000 votes. And 2% of the precincts have reported. So it's way too soon to worry about Cruz. I mean, you can't even say that it's a close race yet. So, Fox says Texas is 51% in. Well, okay, but what are the results there then? Okay, and let's go back to Florida. Take a look there. I'm eager to be able to call that because, again, that's significant in terms of how things are shaking out nationally. Okay, why can't I find Florida suddenly? F, there we are. Okay. Oh, they're still showing, still at 3.8. You know, they did this last time too. They really began to slow down the reporting at the very end of Florida. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm going to sign off as soon as I feel like I can call Florida. So, because Democrats are taking back the House. Yeah, they're not. What does Nate Silver have the odds at right now? Yeah. Yeah. Nate Copper. What does he have the odds at now? I guess I can look that up myself, can't I? 538. 538. Live coverage. Okay. Let's see. House forecast and so forth. 60%. Okay, well, this is obviously an old update because he has the Democrats at a 39 seat gain and only a 1 in 8 chance that Republicans keep the House. That's funny. Let's see. This is the daily stuff, so it's not the live stuff. I need the live stuff. 54% for Democrats. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, if you don't, it's pretty obvious that that he's this close to throwing in the towel. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to find the. Let's see. Man, some of these sites just like it's unbelievable how badly they suck. Let's see our pre-election here. What was his pre-election forecast in Kentucky 6? Arizona, New York. Strange. He didn't even have anything there. He doesn't have New York at all. Oh, in the 9 p.m. races, I see. So anyhow, not a very useful site, obviously. I'm gonna go back to the Florida, see what they say, if they've done anything yet. Yeah, it's funny. Florida's just been like sitting there without anything changing for some time now. That's usually a good sign, by the way. Typically, they don't like to report those final numbers. Okay, so DeSantis is at 3849. He needs to be at 3944. So DeSantis needs 95,000 more votes, and it's over. Yeah. Hello all. Hello Vox. Hello. Yeah, we're kind of. You'll have to forgive me. It's pretty much 3 a.m. here, so I'm very low energy at the moment. But like I said, I think it's over. I've already called the House, and now we're really just waiting to see what's up with the Florida race. I'd like to see what the final result is there. So the betting markets just shift. Yeah, don't remind me. I'm still irritated about not being able to bet on that one. So let's see. Georgia got extended. Kentucky called for this. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so no blue wave. The blue wave did not appear. Let's see. That's funny. Yep. Somebody said conveniently all the polls and the media reporting on them changed from Democrat ahead by to toss up this morning. 538 goes from blue wave to what's happening. Yeah, I mean that's the blue wave did not show. Oh, I got to put up this meme. Hang on. This is a great meme. I do enjoy it. I sent it out this morning. Let's see here. Oh, I got to log in. Hang on. Yeah, if you go to the blog, you can see this in a second. It's pretty awesome. By the way, if you're not subscribed to the Daily Meme Wars, I highly recommend it. There we go. I actually sent out this meme this morning. I'm going to post it here on the live stream in a second. But I think you will agree that it is the correct way to celebrate. Hang on a second here. Let's fire us up. And because this is going to be, there we go. I think we can all agree that this is a appropriate meme. This is an appropriate meme with which we can end the evening. So, Republicans have held the House. The Young Turk stream is down. They're probably bringing in the emotional support dogs as we speak. Oh, I not only made these memes, this meme anticipating Republican victory, I actually sent it out on the Daily Meme Wars this morning. And it is on the blog right now as we speak. So I want to check I want to check that Florida race. Yeah, they're still like just creeping up, but DeSantis has effectively won, but we can't call it for sure yet. He needs another 78,000 votes. So, let's see, refresh. It's still on. Oh, the stream. Okay. So, anyhow, okay, I have him 78,000 short, 78,000 votes short of being able to definitively call it. Yeah, you need to calm down when you look at these votes. You know, when there's a small percentage of precincts reporting it, it's totally irrelevant who's in front. Okay, it's just not a matter for concern. So let's go to the Senate here. Yeah, so remember people are going, oh no, Beto's ahead. Well, you know, now 55% is in and Cruz is slightly ahead. You know, it doesn't mean anything yet. It's still too soon. Yeah, Broward always gets counted last. You always need to be very skeptical of you need to be very cautious of the results before Bill Mitchell is claiming that DeSantis is 100,000 ahead. I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty. Yeah, I mean, well, he's pretty close. Actually, he's now 3/8. Yeah, so he is pretty close to 100,000 ahead, but that's not enough because there's still enough outstanding votes in Broward that could make up for that. That's why you can't call it yet. Like I said, the magic number in Florida is 3.94 million. Once DeSantis gets to 3.94 million, it's over. Or if there's not enough votes in Broward County to make up for the gap. Let me see if I can dig that out. Find your state, Florida. Okay, so we go down to the Broward results. Damn it, I always forget where Broward is. Oh, that's right. Fortunately, they have a map on these, so I can look it up. That's not it. Okay. This is 19th. This is this one unopposed. Must be Broward here. Comparable is. Let's see. Okay, so. Okay, well, anyhow, I'm tired. I can't find it. I'm not going to worry about it. Anyhow, I'm going to turn in now, so enjoy the victory party. I'm confident that I can't call it with any certainty, but I do believe that DeSantis is going to win. He's very, very close to winning. I mean, he's literally within 70,000 votes of it being over. So I hope you enjoyed it. I think the God Emperor deserves a lot of credit for the effort he put in to make sure that the Republicans stayed in control of the House. So have a good evening, and we'll see you at the next Darkstream.